משנכנס אדר, משנכנס אדר, משנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה, משנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה, משנכנס אדר, משנכנס אדר, משנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה, משנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה. Oh Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ve'asu li mikdash ve'shachanti betocham, ve'asu li mikdash ve'shachanti betocham. Oh Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We begin with the words from the Talmud, Mishenechnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. When the month of Adar begins, joy increases. Our tradition teaches this because Adar, this month of Adar, contains the most joyous of our holidays. What holiday? Purim. Right, good guess. All right. Everything around Purim is meant to be happy. And we don't wait for the holiday itself to start to get into the spirit. Traditionally, as soon as we start the month of Adar, we start increasing the joy. And during a leap year in the Jewish calendar, like this one, we have 2 months of Adar. Purim comes in the second one. Tonight begins the first Shabbat of this month of second Adar, so we really start to focus on our joy in anticipation of the holiday to come. On Purim, we express that joy by celebrating exuberantly. We tell jokes more than usual. We dress in costumes. We eat hamantaschen, emphasizing our victory by symbolically devouring our enemy. In addition to reading the actual Megillah, the biblical version of the story, we reenact it with a spiel, a parody, usually rooted in contemporary culture. This year, we are basing our spiel on the Barbie movie. Yes, I am Ken, right? Had to be. And so is he.
I'm also Ken.
And so are some of our other male characters.
As my Zoom screen often says.
Yeah. Wait until you see our costumes. The spiel is usually full of silly songs, changing the words to well-known songs to fit the Purim story. This year's spiel features a song by someone named Taylor Swift or something like that, among many others. And we have a Purim carnival with games and prizes and lots of fun. Thank you, Brotherhood, for arranging that. And we also share our joy with others, sending food to our friends. Thank you, Sisterhood, for arranging that. and giving food to the poor we will be collecting for family table. Our TCS celebration of Purim happens next Sunday morning, the 24th, with our spiel, our carnival, food, and fun. Please plan to join us and bring your friends. And there's another traditional observance of Purim that expresses our joy, but it has a bit of a darker edge to it, and that is a celebratory meal. In the biblical story, much of the action takes place at feasts thrown by the king or by Esther. But the word for feast in Hebrew is mishteh, which comes from a root meaning to drink. So we understand that these feasts are not just gala banquets, they are blowout bashes, full of carousing and carrying on, raging keggers that would put any fraternity to shame. Our celebratory meals do not need to descend to quite that level of debauchery. And yet, the Talmud records the great sage Rava encouraging his disciples to get drunk on Purim. He teaches one should become so intoxicated on Purim as to see no difference between cursed is Haman and blessed is Mordecai. According to Rava, we are supposed to celebrate so thoroughly that we can no longer distinguish between Haman, the genocidal villain, and Mordecai, who defies Haman and inspires Esther to speak up to save her people. At first glance, this expectation seems ridiculous. How could anyone confuse these two characters? Is it even possible to get drunk enough not to be able to tell them apart? I mean, there's good and there's bad. There's right and there's wrong. There's virtuous and there is evil. And we can tell them apart. But as I learned recently from Rabbi Carl Perkins, it's not quite that simple. Each Hebrew letter has a numerical value. Think about a basic code where the letter A is represented by the number 1, letter B is represented by the number 2, so on like that. If we add up the values of the letters in the expression cursed is Haman and compare that total to the total value of the letters in blessed is Mordecai, guess what? They are identical. They both add up to 502. Mathematically speaking, there is no difference between blessing Mordecai and cursing Haman. Maybe it's not so easy to distinguish them from each other. Perhaps we shouldn't be so surprised. Sometimes we do, in fact, have difficulty recognizing the difference between good and evil. We have ample evidence of our contemporary struggle to tell right from wrong. Think about those people who cannot distinguish between a horrific, unprovoked, malicious terrorist attack on innocent civilians in Israel and a war of self-defense that tragically leads to unavoidable but unintentional civilian casualties in Gaza. They are both devastating, but they are not morally identical. Think of an issue that is especially but not uniquely American, that of citizens who choose not to vote in elections, seeing no difference between the candidates. Creates an equivalence between options that are certainly not equivalent. Maybe the difference between Haman and Mordecai is not always as obvious as we would like it to be. And so maybe we wouldn't actually have to drink all that much to confuse them. Rava may just be encouraging people to celebrate with full abandon, but if we take his teaching at face value as giving us permission to let go of our moral judgment, even if only for a day, it is dangerous. So instead, I want to read him as offering us some ethical guidance. And here's how I get there. On Purim, many things are the opposite of what they seem. Jewish tradition describes Purim with the expression, v'nahafochu, which means it was overturned. In the Purim story, everything is turned upside down. The king is really a buffoon. Haman is executed on the gallows that he had built to hang Mordecai. It may have looked like the Jews were about to be destroyed, but really they would be the ones who would conquer their enemies. Everything gets turned upside down. So I want to turn Rava upside down too, and understand him as saying the opposite of what his words seem to mean on their surface. Instead of him saying that we ought to get drunk and not be able to tell Haman and Mordecai apart, I want to understand him as speaking sarcastically, as if saying, one would have to be really drunk not to be able to distinguish between cursed is Haman and blessed is Mordecai. Read in this way, he tells us we do have to be able to tell the difference between them, even on Purim. We have to look deeper than their mathematical equivalents and see that they are morally opposed. Near the end of the Purim story, after Esther has spoken up and saved the Jews, the text says, La Yehudim haita ora v'simcha v'sason vikar. The Jews had light and joy and gladness and honor. This verse becomes part of the liturgy for Havdalah at the end of Shabbat, when we add the words, Kain tihya lanu, so may it be for us. Havdalah emphasizes making distinctions between Shabbat and the rest of the week, between light and dark. Only when we make those distinctions do the blessings that the Jews enjoy at the end of the Megillah become ours as well. Only if we can tell the difference between those who are righteous and those who are wicked, between those who want to live with their neighbors in peace and those who seek the extermination of their enemy, between those who work for the good of the community and those who work only for their own power and advancement, between those who will bring us blessing and those who will bring us curses. Only then can gladness and honor and light and joy increase for us this Adar. Kain tihya lanu, so may it be for us. We begin Shabbat with light. We have already lit our Shabbat candles because we celebrated Tat Shabbat earlier and lit them then. So we are ready to, in the light of the Shabbat candles, welcome the Shabbat angels of peace and joy on page 13. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yadai Baruchuni L'Shalom Malachei L'Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Seitchem L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Seitchem L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yadai Seitchem L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now we are ready to welcome the Shabbat bride on page 21. Lecha Dodi, come my beloved, to greet the bride.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmiyanu el ha'miyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litehila Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelcha Ki mekor ha'baraka Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Idorari Kiva Orech Kumi Ori Uri Uri Shir Daberi Kevod Adonai Alayich Nigla Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Ateret bala
One of the reasons that Shabbat is so full of joy is that on Shabbat we have the time, we have the space, we have the emotional energy to notice the blessings that we enjoy that often slip past our awareness during the rest of the week. So on page 23, a special psalm for Shabbat, Psalm 92, begins by saying, "It is good to thank God." That's now that it is Shabbat, we can thank God for these things that now we are aware of. So page 23, second line of Hebrew, Tov lehodot l'Adonai.
Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer, ulezamer, l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer, ulezamer, l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. להגיד בבוקר חסדך. להגיד בבוקר חסדך. ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני. להגיד בבוקר חסדך. להגיד בבוקר חסדך. ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני. טוב להודות לאדוני.
Let's keep a finger on page 27 and turn to page 220. Page 220 has some special readings for Purim, including a stanza from a poem that is part of the Purim observance traditionally, at the bottom of page 220. And there's someone in it whose name is not familiar even to most people who read the Purim story. At the end, it says, "May Harvona also be remembered for good." Harvona, just so we know who we're talking about, is one of the king's attendants who points out to the king that Haman had built a gallows to hang Mordecai on, and helps to blow up the plot by revealing what Haman had in mind. And so he is a lesser-known hero of the story, but that's why he is remembered for good in this reading. The Jews of Shushan beamed with joy when they beheld Mordecai robed in royal blue. You have always been our deliverance, our hope in every generation. Those who set their hope in you will never be put to shame. Those who trust in you will never be confounded. Cursed be Haman who sought to destroy us. Blessed be Mordecai the Jew. Cursed be Zeresh, the wife of the one who terrified us. Blessed be Esther, our protector. And may Harvona also be remembered for good. Back on page 27, we rise for Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkada v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach irute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael bagala bagala uvizman kariv v'imiru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lam me'amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha
Barechu.
La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imeru amen.
Back in the supplements on page 5, Am I Awake, leading into Baruch Hu.
Yadidai-dai-dai, 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 yadidai-dai-dai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yadidai-dai-dai, 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 yadidai-dai-dai.
Can be seated. And we'll continue in the Siddur on page 29, on the right-hand side, at the bottom. Page 29, let's join together in English. Your love has embraced us always in wilderness and promised land, in good times and in bad. Night and day your Torah sustains us, reviving the spirit, delighting the heart, informing the soul, opening the eyes, granting us a glimpse of eternity. Because of your love, we shall embrace Torah night and day in devotion and delight. Beloved are you, Adonai, whose Torah reflects your love. Page 29, giving thanks for the gift of Torah, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha Ve'hayu advarim ha'ele Asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam V'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
Page 31 and the sixth line from the top.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Keep a finger on page 34, and we go back into the supplements on page 7. Nothing can compare.
Nothing can compare. Nothing can compare. Nothing can compare. Nothing can compare. Standing on the other side of the sea of reeds, I'm beginning to believe we really can be free. Walking on the ocean floor, like walking on the air. Nothing can compare with this. Nothing can compare. Nichamocha ba'elim Adonai. Nichamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam
nothing can compare to Shabbat on page 34, Vishamru. People Israel will keep Shabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
And speaking of joy, and speaking of increasing joy, our congregational joy will increase tomorrow morning, as will the joy of the Zimmerman family, because tomorrow morning Nathan will be called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah, and tonight he has the honor of leading us in the Amidah, which begins on page 35b. Nathan will start us off with page 35b, and then we'll continue individually from there. If you wish to follow the liturgy of the Siddur, it will continue through page 38, or you can look inside yourself for the prayers of your own heart and your own soul. When you've had as much time as you'd like for your private prayers, you may be seated, but we begin on page 35b, following Nathan.
Adonai Sifatai Tifta Ufia Gita Hilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tifta Ufia Gita Hilatecha Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot, Umevii Goel Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'achava, Melech Ozer, Ufoked, Umoshia, Umagen. Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Ufoked Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Metim Atah Rab Hoshia. Mashiv Haruach Umorid Hagashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiya Yeshua, Ne'eman atah l'hachayot litum. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
continue at the top of page 38. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים
I spent the first part of this past week in Philadelphia at the convention of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, 450 Reform rabbis from around North America, Canada, other parts of the world, including especially Israel. And one of our services during the week was led by our Israeli colleagues. And you can imagine, I hope you can imagine, that this month of joy is not a month of unambiguous joy for our Israeli family. And so they led one of the services, and one of the rabbis, a colleague, Rabbi Oded Mazor from Congregation Kol HaNeshama in Jerusalem, shared with us a reading that he had written essentially to welcome this new month. You may know that as we get ready for each month in the calendar, there's a special blessing that we say to bring in the new month. He wrote a version of a prayer to welcome and to reflect on the month of Adar, this month of joy. And because we didn't actually have texts, we only had projections on screens, I took pictures of the screens. And so on your song sheet, you have copies of the pictures of the screens. So it's not the most elegant look, but what it lacks in aesthetic, I think it makes up for in power. So let's join together. May it be your will that we merit to increase the joy in this month, the joy of being together, the joy of giving, the joy of gratitude for the goodness that is revealed in the world. May it be your will that we are able to understand the different manifestations of sorrow, brokenness, grief, worry, disappointment, to acknowledge them, to listen to them, to embrace them. May it be your will that we are able to hold together the diverse needs within one community, to cry and to laugh, to mourn and to dance, to celebrate as always, and to sit alone in silence. May it be your will that already in this month we witness a real benahafochu, turning reality in a new direction, not of killing, fighting, and destruction, but of salvation, demanding goodness, words of peace, and truth. Turn now to the inside back cover of the Siddur, where we find the words to our prayer for healing. So we think of our loved ones and friends who are ill, who are struggling physically or spiritually or emotionally.
Misheperach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Tonight in our Chayei Shalom family, we think especially of Eileen Bernhard, Arthur Campbell, Phyllis Dillon, Jane Dunlap, Valerie Frank, Jennifer Galvin, David Glazer, Carolyn Halunen, Helen Lonnie, Cheryl Leahy, Nancy Mayer, Gail Rosenberg, Sheila Wagner, Yonina bat David HaKohen v'Sara, Esther bat Chaim v'Goldi, Rella bat Moshe Haskell Ufega Leah, Fegi bat Shlomo Nisan Halevi. If there's someone for whom you are particularly concerned tonight, whose name you'd like to say aloud, I invite you to do so now. We hold all of our friends and loved ones in our hearts.
Misheperach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn back to page 148. On page 148, let's join together in the prayer for our country. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessings for our country, for its government, for its leaders and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority. Teach them insights from your Torah, that they may administer all affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, happiness and prosperity, justice and freedom may forever abide in our midst. Creator of all flesh, bless all the inhabitants of our country with your spirit. May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond in true harmony, to banish hatred and bigotry, and to safeguard the ideals and free institutions that are the pride and glory of our country. May this land, under your providence, be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all people in peace and freedom, helping them to fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they experience war anymore. And let us say, Amen. On the back of the handout, in the middle, find the words to a prayer for Israel, taken from Psalm 122. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim. Shalu Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayim, Shalu Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayim. Yehi Shalom, Behelech, Shalva be'armenotayim, Lemanachai be're'ai, Adabrana Shalom Bach, Shalu Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayim, Shalu Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayim. Leman Beit Adonai Eloheinu, Avak Shatov Lach. Leman Beit Adonai Eloheinu, Avak Shatov Lach. Shalu Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayim, Shalu Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayim, Ohavayim. Today is day 161 since the start of the war, since the attack of Hamas on Israel. 161 days that the 134 remaining hostages have been held. We continue on the song sheet with the prayer for Israelis held captive. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers, that they be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy, that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces, that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. They shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. We turn to page 51 in the Siddur, and we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Can be seated. As we prepare for Kaddish, we recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight, our congregational family remembers with special affection our loved ones whose yahrzeit will occur this coming week. Harry Pike, father-in-law of Norman Burke; Irving Harvey, father of Merrill Levinson; Doris Tillman, mother of Randy Tillman; Mary Hirshhorn, mother-in-law of Anita Hirshhorn, grandmother of Rhonda Jelinek; Morris Fishman, father of Anita Hirshhorn, grandfather of Rhonda Jelinek; Dorothy Uditsky, mother of Esther Jacobs; Gloria Lapidus, sister-in-law of Myra Lapidus; David Mayer Gradwell, father of Jane Nash; Sidney Greenberg, father of Saul Payne; Sylvia Siegel, mother of Marcia Kamens; Dave Stepner, father of Ellen Spector; Maya Reines, family of Ruth Albert; Estelle Blackman, mother of Jeffrey Blackman; Mark Flykop, husband of Sharon Silberman; Stuart Klein, former husband of Terry Starr Klein; Brian Barger, cousin of Craig Barger; Esther Glickman, great aunt of Adam Kempner; Marilyn Hoffman, mother of Alyssa Cohen; Robert Levinson, brother of David Levinson. And we remember as well all those who were killed on and since October 7th as a result of the Hamas attack on Israel. If you are remembering someone this evening, we invite you to say that person's name aloud now. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of all our dear ones be a blessing. If you're saying Kaddish in someone's memory tonight, we ask you to rise now. In loving support of the mourners, we rise as a congregation. In gratitude to God for the gift of the lives of their loved ones, those who are in mourning and those remembering someone, say Kaddish on page 52. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shmei dekudsha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam al rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all of the bereaved. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. Michael. Mike Owen presenting our words from the board tonight.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Torah study tomorrow at 9 o'clock with Rabbi Carr in person with bagels and coffee or remote. Join us tomorrow at 10:30. Nathan Zilman, son of Glenn and Jessica Zilman, will celebrate becoming a bar mitzvah. Nice job tonight, by the way, Nathan. Celebrate Purim next Sunday, 9:15 to 10:30 a.m. See a Barbie themed Purim spiel. Hear the Megillah and eat delicious hamantashes. You can fulfill the mitzvah of matal
Levianim.
gifts to the poor by bringing cans of vegetable soup or tuna. 11:30 a.m. Bring your family and friends to CCS for Brotherhood's Purim Carnival. Enjoy our annual Purim Carnival featuring fun games and prizes. Important note from Sisterhood: we are postponing the Godspeed Murder Mystery event due to a low number of signatures. Also, today is the last day for Purim bag orders. TCS Community Seder, second night of Passover, Tuesday, April 23rd at 5 p.m. Join us. Bring your family, friends for traditional Passover Seder with a catered kosher meal, including honey apricot chicken or stuffed acorn squash vegetarian, and all your favorite Passover fixings. RSVP by April 8th with the link in your emails or pay by check with a paper form available in the foyer. Gays are in the kitchen for Passover. We need your help on Sunday, April 21st. Contact Amy Glazer. Reminder, Family Table needs our help every month. 30 cans of tuna and 30 cans of vegetable soup. If you'd like to donate money to the Family Table monthly instead of bringing food, there's a link in your weekly email. Please remember, information and links of all activities are included in your weekly emails on Monday, as well as special notice. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Occurred to me I maybe should have edited those announcements a little bit because it sounded like the meal offerings for Passover Seder are honey apricot chicken or a stuffed vegetarian, and that didn't go right. So it's a stuffed acorn squash. It is a vegetarian. All right, never mind. Let me say just a couple things about the services the next couple Friday nights. Next week, services start at 6:30. It is a special service led by our Sulam students, but it is not just for our Sulam students, it's for the congregation. We hope that people will come and celebrate and share with the leadership of our young folks. That is 6:30 next Friday night. The following week, March 29th, is our annual South Shore Reformed Congregations Community Service. It is not being held here this year. It is being held in Plymouth, at Temple Beth Jacob in Plymouth. Our speaker for the evening is going to be Rabbi Josh Weinberg, one of the vice presidents of the Union for Reform Judaism and the executive director of arts of the Association of Reform Zionists of America. He's a wonderful thinker and speaker, and obviously a very important topic that he will be addressing. So that service is at 7 o'clock at Temple Beth Jacob in Plymouth. There will not be a service here that night. You can watch that service online. The link is in the emails, or will be in the emails when it goes out. But just to remind you, no services here on March 29th, and the service begins at 7. So more information will be coming out about that. I just wanted to put it in everyone's head now, so you'll remember that. So, and then of course next week, in addition to the Sulam service, Purim on Sunday. So lots of good stuff coming up on the next few weeks, because we're increasing our joy for the month of Adar. So our final song for tonight is on page 54, Adon Olam.
Adon Olam, Asher malach b'teretz bo, Yitzir nivra le'et nasa. תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי ועת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי ונתקוסי ביום אקרא ונתקוסי ביום אקרא בידו הפקיד רוחי באישה באעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדוני לי ולא אירא.
Just realized there's one other announcement that should have been on the list. The best way to end the month of Adar, I don't know if it's the last day, it might be the second to last day, is a 5K road race. It is the best race of the spring. It is our TCS Shoveltown 5K, April 7th at 9 a.m., right? With what? 9:30. It gets later every year. That's right. It's good. And then a celebration to follow, right, at Shoveltown. Yep. So it's a great time if you are a runner, if you know a runner, if you want to go find anyone who runs, invite them to come join us. It's a really great event that Adam and Teresa and the committee put on for the congregation, for really the whole community. It's a really fun day. So join us for that. Now, join us in the foyer for Kiddush and Motzi. Those of you who are on YouTube can come back over to Zoom, and we'll reconnect you out there. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is why I don't know it's 9:30. Or I need to have a head start.
So good back of the ball. Like, I don't know why. I know it's probably the same return you played a million times, but it just had a great tone to it.
It is being liked.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I wish we had mics. I would love to record that.
Oh, the chord.
Yeah. It was a really good version tonight. And the guitar really sounded really good.
The Torah Aliyah blessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's great. Whatever could have worked.